and Savior, Jesus the Christ. Amen. Just as I am and waiting now to rid my soul of one dark blot. Does everyone know this song?
Yes, I am.
That's right. O Lamb of God, I come. Brothers and sisters, just as I am, we come into the presence of Christ. Just as I am, knowing that I have fallen short. The title for today might have left you guessing, what are we talking about? What do I do now? So let's take a look at those struggles in life. When I retire, what do I do now? I've lost a loved one. What do I do now? I am getting a divorce. What do I do now? I've lost a child. What do I do now? We see in the story a young man who is confronted with being a dishonest person. And he asks the question, what will I do now? There was, in ancient times, a young man who felt he was pretty smart, thought he was worthwhile, visionary. He went and saw the king, but the king already had an advisor. So he wanted to displace that individual, make him look foolish. So he set in place a plan, and the plan was simply this. He would take a bird and place it in his hands and say to the advisor, "Old man, is the bird alive or dead?" If the old man said the bird was dead, he would open his hands, the bird would fly away, and he would have proved that he's more wise, better for the king than this old man that has been sitting there for years. If the old man said the bird was alive, the young man would just crush the bird in his hands and it would drop to the ground dead. With this plan stuck in his head, in the assembly, the king had all of the people there and the advisor next to him, and he walked in and he said to the advisor, this young man said, "Old man, you who think you're so wise, I'm holding a bird. Is it alive or dead?" And the old wise advisor of the king said, "My son, you are troubled. And I'll let you know that it's in your hands. It's in your hands." What is in your hands, brothers and sisters? Well, we can do gestures with them, right? We can hit somebody. We can do certain things with fingers, right? We do this, we can do other things. How often are we doing this? What will I do now begins with this. It begins with a discussion with our Savior who walks with us in our good and bad times. What will I do now? My wife and I, we were watching a soccer game. Our son used to play soccer, and he was good, and they were playing a very good team, and we saw a person, a young man who was very good at soccer, but he just wasn't having a good day. And when you don't have a good day at soccer, you usually rely on your teammates to help you. But not him. He started tripping people, he started kicking people, he started cheating, he started doing things, and he would do it behind the ref's back so no one would see it, and the crowd was screaming at him, hey, reacting negatively to this young man. It got so bad that when one time he was on our side, he decided to kick the ball at the crowd. His choice was unbelievable, right? But what do you do when things aren't going right? When you have fallen short? Do you rely on God and your friends, or do you get angry and start living your life in a way that God would not approve? What do you do now? This young man in the story decides to cheat the guy who's been working for him that helped to pay his bills for a lifetime. And he comes with this idea, if I cheat him, those people I help, they'll let me into their houses. His plan is flawed. His plan is flawed. How many of you have managed people? How many of you had to let people go? Now, if that person said to another of you, hey, I'll cheat for you, and you'll let me into your business, that's why we have references, right? These people say, well, how did he work for you? And they said, he robbed from me. You know he did. Even back in that day, he would have had some references. And they would all have been negative, and he would not have been able to enter into any of those homes because they would have saw that he would be acting the same way. What would you do? What will you do now? I love talking about people who've done great things, and certainly there was a young lady who, in my second congregation, every week she would bring me flowers and place them on my desk. For the longest time, I didn't know who was doing it. It was kind of funny. Her name was Lorraine Abrams. She's passed, but she was one of the most delightful people, closest to a saint probably that I've ever met. She's great. So one day I came and I said, hey, why are you bringing the flowers? I said, well, because I like beautiful things, and I want you to know the beauty of God's creation. Thank you. She came in every week to clean the church. And it was much smaller than this, of course. But she came in to clean the church as a volunteer thing. And when she came in, she would always take a bucket and she would walk and she'd go to clean the toilets. Now, she was a business owner. She was probably 80, 85. So she is in there. She's going to town. She was making it wonderful. And I walked and I said, Lorraine, why don't you let somebody else do it? Why don't you let somebody else clean the toilets? And she said, well, it embarrasses people to clean the toilets. And some people are just above it. I said, okay. She said, well, I'm not embarrassed. And it's not because as a servant of Jesus. She added that little thing. As a servant of Jesus. When you're met and you meet struggle, what will you do? Jesus talks about being faithful in a little bit and being faithful in a lot. And he does talk about integrity. Integrity. And there's a lot of stories out there about integrity. And the one that came to mind as I was preparing this sermon was a powerful story that involves a young man who wasn't having a good season. He was a farmer, and I like farmer stories. His crop was failing, and his neighbor next door, who was an atheist, his crop was doing great. The farmer stopped going to worship. The crop that he wanted was not succeeding. It failed altogether. So the young man decided, hey, my family's hungry. I'm going to go steal some corn from the next door neighbor. He's an atheist. Who cares? So he went. And he took his son with him, and the son had one of those baskets, and it's great. His son's with him. He got to one of those fence lines, that you can look down and it divides the property. You know what I'm talking about? That fence line of woods, So he got to the woods and he kind of looked to the right, and then he looked to the left, and the son tugged on his shoulder. I said, hey, Dad, aren't you going to look up? We as people of God need to continue to live looking up, being faithful to God's calling in our life, knowing that it's not always going to be great, knowing that sometimes we will lose a job, knowing sometimes, hey, we might lose a relationship, knowing that sometimes we're going to lose the love of our life. Brothers and sisters, when that question comes, what will I do now? Put your hands together and look up. And all God's children say,